Wayne McCullough takes us on a journey up the Shankill on Tuesday night at 10:35 here on BBC One Northern Ireland in bits of Belfast. Now though, he's in the ring in Los Angeles as we join Stephen Watson for World Championship Boxing.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to this World Championship Boxing special exclusively on BBC Northern Ireland. It's 10 years since Wayne McCullough won his world title in Japan. Now he's trying to become a two-time world champion by dethroning the WBC reigning champion, Mexican hardman Oscar Larios. There are those who thought McCullough should have retired after a punishing defeat to Scott Harrison nearly 2 years ago, but McCullough has always believed he's still got what it takes to win another title. This fight in California might just be the last roll of the dice for the Las Vegas-based fighter, but who would bet against him? On commentary for us, Jim Neely and former world flyweight champion Dave Boy McCullough.
All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing you first, the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver trunks with purple trim, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Belfast, Northern Ireland. He weighed in at a trim and ready 121 pounds. With a record of 27 wins and 4 losses, he has 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked the WBC number 9 featherweight contender. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBC Bantamweight Champion of the World, known as the Pocket Rocket, introducing Wayne McCullough. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim, joining us from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. His weight, 121 3/4 pounds. His record stands at 54 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 35 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is making the 6th defense of his title. Here is the defending WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing Oscar Chololo Larios.
Just a little resume of what we can expect all the way through this 12 rounds at 122 pounds, 8 stone 10. 3 judges at ringside. Wayne surely brings them together. Wayne McCullough, been a professional boxer now for almost 12 years. Is this the last chance saloon for the man they call the Pocket Rocket? And straight away, Wayne McCullough in the white trunks trimmed with purple into that familiar crouching, head down, come forward style of his against Oscar Larios, the 28-year-old, who has been the champion for 2 or 3 years now. Long arms, Larios, a little bit taller than Wayne McCullough and just about 3/4 of a pound heavier, so nothing between them whatsoever. Wayne McCullough's main problem has been inactivity. This is just his 6th contest in some 5 years, but he's always fit. He's never been stopped, he's never been knocked down, and he tends not to cut, and he's always in your face.
Yeah, this guy's a really, really tough customer. Wayne McCullough is one of the hardest men that I know. He's got a chin like granite. He's never been stopped. You can hit him all day and hit him all night, and he'll stand there and he'll take the whole lot and hit you back. Sometimes he's too brave for his own good, and he's got a chin. It's just rock solid. This guy, Larios, a really good champion and quite a banger. Not a KO specialist, but what you would call a slightly more than hurtful puncher. But this guy, Larios, he knows his way around the ring, and but he's in for a real tough ride tonight.
Wayne McCullough coming forward as ever. Larios, big long arms, and that could cause Wayne McCullough problems. Wayne would admit that he certainly wasn't at his best the last time he challenged for a world title, which was against Scott Harrison in September of a couple of years ago. He's had only one contest since then, and that was last September. Stopped one Mike Juarez in 2 rounds. Juarez was a 40-fight veteran at that stage. That was a good right hand from the champion. They're scheduled for 12 rounds, remember. And this is good stuff by McCullough. He's leaving his chin out to dry a little bit. He's swinging rather wildly, but he's in this man's face. But that's just McCullough's style, Dave.
Yeah, what Wayne does, there's only one thing he lacks in the boxing ring, and that's a bit of power. But he wears you down. And this guy, Larios, he'll have never fought anybody who comes forward like Wayne McCullough does. He's in your face the whole time that he's there, and he's non-stop. And this guy, he'll break this guy's heart.
Well, he'll certainly keep going, Wayne McCullough. Larios last time out made a successful defence in November of last year in Las Vegas against the Australian Nadal Hussain. A unanimous decision over 12 rounds, won it by a fair distance on each of the 3 judges' cards. He won't want to leave anything to chance tonight because he knows that McCullough will go for 12 rounds or 20 if he has to. Last few seconds of the opening round. Solider shots being landed by Larios. That was better by McCullough. Got himself caught to the body by an under elbow right hand. What a busy first round, as you'd expect from every single contest that Wayne McCullough has been in. And one wonders what Oscar Larios and Jose Reynoso in the corner is going to be thinking of that. Well, there you are. That just about sums Oscar Larios up for you. Busy style, aggressive, experienced, sometimes can neglect defence, and he doesn't want to do that against Wayne McCullough.
I just wish I'd brushed up on my Spanish, Jim. I just can't make out exactly what these guys are saying, but I'm sure it's keep your hands up and don't let your chin.
Freddie Roach in front of Wayne McCullough.
Remember, hands up, good head movement at all times. Alright, so nice and calm out there. Very good round. Deep breath. All you, son.
Well,
very
3
nice.
question marks there beside the word slowed. Has he slowed down? Wayne McCullough's next birthday will be his 35th, remember. Bit of action from that opening round. McCullough putting all the pressure on. Not much between them. It might have just have been a 10-10 round. Certainly was on my scorecard. McCullough looking fresh, relatively unmarked. And he comes again, Wayne McCullough. What a wonderful amateur he was. Flyweight gold medalist in the Commonwealth Games way back in 1990. Bantamweight silver medalist 2 years later in the Olympics. And if you look at the men that McCullough has fought, certainly they would be of a higher caliber than the men that Larios has been in with. You look at Morales and Nassim Hamed and Zaragoza, and more recently Scott Harrison. And you do get the feeling now that after that opening first round, Larios realises that he's in with a decent boxer. What a lovely, sweet little right hand from Wayne McCullough round the corner.
Just sort of hoping that the inactivity of Wayne over this past 3-4 years, Jim, doesn't take its toll tonight, because you need to have rounds under your belt in order to fight 12 good hard rounds. You need to be in the ring quite regularly, and Wayne's being a wee bit inactive over this past 4 or 5 years, which hopefully won't do him any harm tonight. But you can see now he's still coming forward, and let's just hope that can last the whole way through this fight.
Well, the 1 or 2 people said that against Scott Harrison there was a decent case for pulling him out because he was getting a bit of a thumping. But Wayne's heart is as big as the boxing ring itself. Good shot by Larios inside. McCullough still coming back at him. This is good pressure boxing from the challenger Wayne McCullough. Remember, a former world champion at bantamweight. Same organisation, the WBC, one of the senior organisations. Rated number 9 by the WBC. Wayne McCullough midway through the second. Larios looks much bigger, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, but he's saying to himself here, like, what have I got in front of me? Like, McCullough's throwing loads of punches. Some are landing, some aren't landing, but he's throwing so many that he's landing as often now as what Larios is. So this is going to be a real tight contest for Larios.
Larios did well there. He just stepped inside and he shortened the right hand and he caught McCullough, and again with the left. Get the feeling if Larios keeps this at a distance, then he'll take the edge off McCullough, but McCullough is giving him no room.
Well, I watched the Harrison fight and McCullough fight, Jim, and Harrison can punch a lot harder than this guy here, and he caught William with some outstanding punches, and William McCullough was still standing, at the 12th bell, and you had to take your hat off to him. And I don't think this guy can punch as hard or as strong as what Harrison is.
Well, of course, Harrison was a big featherweight.
Massive. I don't know how he made the weight, to be quite honest.
Better by Larios now, catching McCullough with that right hand. Wayne needs a little bit more lateral movement with the head. He's altogether a little bit too easy to hit, but there he goes, flailing forward, keeping Larios on that back foot. And wouldn't it have been wonderful if Wayne McCullough had a solid concussive punch a la Barry McGuigan or even Dave McCall. He hasn't, but he's made pretty good use of the talents he has. Straight into it, Larios trying with that right hand. Lovely stiff little jab from McCullough, the first scoring shot of that round.
Wayne makes himself very hard to hit. See the way he keeps his head nice and low, Jim, and the chin well tucked in. He's not giving Larios a straight target to hit. He's making it very difficult for Larios. So the only way Larios can get through with a good clean shot is bring him up or bring him round the side. If he throws him out straight, he's hitting Wayne on the forehead or on the top of the head. This is good tactics by McCullough. Just pressurising, keeping the head low and keeping the chin way out of trouble.
Good right by Wayne McCullough, wasn't too far away. But the champion comes back at him. And as you quite rightly observed, Dave McCauley, if Larios hasn't gone for 12 rounds in terms of his preparation for this, he could be coming a little bit unstuck, because McCullough will certainly go for 12.
If Larios hasn't put the effort in the gym, pardon the two gyms there, he's in big trouble, I can tell, because there's one thing McCullough does, and it's train very, very, very hard. He really, he has to be nearly pulled out of the gym. He's that dedicated.
Well, the big question mark now is over, of course, McCullough's age. That wasn't a bad left hand. The head is kept down. He did get caught far too often against the hard-punching Scott Harrison, but featherweight was always much too big for Wayne McCullough. Bantam he struggled to do after he won his world title and defended it successfully twice. Once in Belfast and once in Dublin. Larios up on his toes, looking a little bit more comfortable in this round.
Well, he's boxing a bit better in this round, Larios. When he mixes it with McCullough, he's always on the receiving end. So what he's doing is now he's trying to keep it at a bit of a distance between him and Wayne, because he's having more success that way.
Occasionally McCullough gets him with a decent shot, but it's Larios is using that reach advantage of his. He is a good bit taller. Solid right hand going in from the champion. 30 seconds to go to the end of the fourth. This scheduled for 12, and Larios is an odds-on favourite for this. It's also pretty certain that it may well go 12. Good right hand by McCullough at the end of the round. By no means finished. And again a good right hand by Wayne McCullough, and he's leaning onto the champion. He's trying to rough Larios up a little bit. What a tough round that was. And Larios stands and he looks a little bit on the tired side. That was a hard round for the champion. He may just have nicked it, but at what cost, one wonders. A little bit late on the replay. There was a hint of a low blow there from Larios, and good footwork by McCullough. And straight away the man they dubbed the Pocket Rocket comes straight back into it. It's a box for that dear old Albert Foundry Club in Belfast. Mexico, the chance for the man they called Chololo Oscar Larios. comes from Guadalajara. Good solid right hand by the champion. McCullough has got to keep up the work rate and keep the pressure on all the time. Well, Sean O'Grady has Wayne McCullough 2 points up after 4 rounds. That's interesting, Dave McCauley.
Yeah, well, I have him 1 round up, but because for the fact it's just sheer aggression from Wayne, and he's throwing loads and loads of shots, and there's more than half of them getting through, which means he's hitting Larios more often than what Larios is hitting him. But what Larios wants to do here now, see, instead of going for Wayne McCullough's chin, the only way to try and slow down Wayne down is hit him to the body. But this guy Larios, he's head hunting all the time. He's dropping some to the body and sometimes too low.
Yeah, that was not very often that Wayne McCullough complains, but that was a second low blow. There was one in the last round, and referee Scully just said to Mr. Larios, just keep those shots up, please. That's maybe a sign that Larios is getting a little bit frustrated with this fella who is perpetually in his face. Good right hand from Wayne. And again. And Larios is looking very unsettled, and McCullough is really doing a number on him, and so far this is another round of Wayne McCullough. Now, can he keep this up?
Well, the way we don't know, Jim, because he's being inactive, but if he is trained as hard as what he normally does for all his fights, there's no reason why he can't. But if this guy Larios keeps working to Wayne's body, this is what weakens you. Well, good stuff from both fighters there, very good stuff.
Good exchange. McCullough got caught, then he came back and he got himself caught again. Sweet little left hand from the champion. And Larios is going to have to dig in. Thought about going to southpaw there to try to confuse McCullough. Look at McCullough, he's really giving it everything. Larios blocking some of those shots. That's Larios complaining about McCullough's head. The referee just had a wee quiet word there. That's good work by the official. Is there a cut? I think Larios might be cut.
It's unbelievable, but McCullough, he just hasn't let this guy alone. This guy just doesn't know what is going on here.
10 seconds to go, and McCullough like a buzzsaw on speed. Unbelievable performance by Wayne. Larios not happy at all. Larios' corner, in particular Jose Reynoso, will not be pleased, and the champion is cut.
It's not a good sign, Jim, when you see a fighter complaining. It's a sign of frustration and that things aren't going his way. McCullough sitting there, he looks as composed as what he did in the first round. This guy's unbelievable.
You worked your jab better that round. It worked real well for you, and the body shots are good. Okay, now here. He's strong for the first minute, but you've got the last 2. Put it on him, okay? Yeah. The plan's working. He's starting to get tired, okay? Keep ripping this guy. Pressure, okay? All right? Keep backing him up with the jab and use the body shots for me, okay? Good head movement, just like the game plan, right? You know what to do out there, son. All right? Nice deep breath. All right, let's go to work.
That's very good work in the corner. Right? Wayne McCullough listening intently to what Freddie Roach is saying. Nothing too dramatic. Not losing the plot at all. Keeping it calm. Little word about the head from the referee to Wayne McCullough. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was another round of Wayne McCullough as we come up to the halfway point in this scheduled 12-rounder. McCullough's game plan seems to be working out reasonably well. A little jab by McCullough, and then he cuts off the exit, which has been sought by Oscar Larios.
I've been told, Jim, that Larios has actually signed a contract to fight the WBO World Champion. I just think it's been a wee bit premature, in his thoughts, because the way this is going right now, if McCullough can keep this going, and let's hope that he can, the fight's it looks like McCullough will be fighting the WBO World Champion.
Well, I think if Wayne McCullough wins this one, he will pick somebody who's going to give him a pretty decent defence. But knowing Wayne McCullough, he'd probably pick the hardest person in the world. There's a couple of other good guys out there. There's Maillard Monchipur from France, who's the WBA champion, and another good Mexican, Israel Vasquez, who's the IBF champion. But he's a man that Larios has beaten. This is an extraordinary performance by Wayne McCullough as we come up to the halfway point. Larios puts his left hand up to see if there's anything in the way of claret coming down from that eye of his, and look at McCullough, he's catching him with the right hand.
The tactics from Wayne's corner are spot on. Just pressurise this guy the whole way through. Don't leave him alone. This is the only way to beat guys like this. Just stay on them. Don't give them 1 second to breathe. Pressure, pressure, pressure. And Larios at this moment in time isn't liking this. Things just aren't going his way.
Well, McCullough is really pressurising, and in this part of the world they really do like the pressure fighters. Good right hand from Wayne McCullough, and again Larios doing a bit of blocking, but he's not really landing anything conclusive at this stage. McCullough simply won't go away. He's a real nuisance, isn't he?
If he doesn't break your jaw, he'll break your heart. Look at this, unbelievable stuff, like unreal. This guy is every fighter's nightmare. He hasn't been knocked out, he hasn't been stopped. Like, what do you do?
Well, as somebody said, Wayne McCullough is president of the Who Needs Him Club.
He deserves that. He
certainly does. Good work by McCullough, and Larios starting to show signs of wear and tear.
Let him go.
Larios holding for the first time. Good footwork by McCullough, turned his man nicely. There's another good right hand by the challenger. And some of these rounds, there's nothing much between them, but I do have a feeling that McCullough is nicking one here and nicking one there. Larios looking for the big shot at the end. Well, Larios seems pretty confident. He grins and stares out into the crowd. And Wayne McCullough is just back on the stool and he's concentrating on what's being said to him.
Clean round, bro.
Look at McCullough, hands up, straight into action, gets the first shot off. Again, Larios' corner saying you've got to try to just pick up the work rate and you've got to be a little bit more accurate. Better by Larios, good combination by the champion. 6 years younger than McCullough, remember, although he's had many, many more contests, and almost twice as many. Well, Sean O'Grady has Wayne McCullough 4 up at the halfway stage, and another couple of even rounds, and then Larios will have to stop McCullough to win this. So come on, Wayne. Better by Larios. That was a good shot by Larios. He's got McCullough hurt a little bit for the first time, and McCullough almost came to a standstill. First time Larios has really connected, Dave.
Yes, he caught him with a good right hand there. I don't know what Wayne's doing or what he's thinking here, but he just seemed to stand still there and do nothing and just let Larios through 3 or 4 good shots and catch him right on the chin. But he seems to have gathered his thoughts now, and he's back again with the jab out coming forward. But he just went into a lapse there for some reason. I don't know what it was. But it's only the amount of punches this guy has thrown for this past 6 rounds, Jim, is unbelievable.
Good stiff jab by McCullough, and look, he's throwing them from all sorts of angles. He tends to keep the head a little bit in the still side, but it's well tucked in, and Larios really hasn't been able to prise open that clam-like defence of Wayne McCullough's.
See, what happens here in this fight, Jim, is Larios is having success the first sort of half minute to a minute of each opening round, and then he sort of seems to, because of the pressure that McCullough puts on, Larios seems to go into his shell then. And just like he's doing now, he's just not having the same success as what he was having 15 seconds, half a minute ago. McCullough seems to get stronger the longer the round goes.
Well, no sign of weariness in the face of Wayne McCullough. He is getting caught, but that was the open part of the glove from Larios. It was a bit of a slap. And again, McCullough comes back and puts the champion on the ropes, and Larios responds. Larios' mouth is open a little bit, and that's not a good sign for the champion. 40 seconds remaining. Great defence by McCullough. You have to give this round to Larios, though.
Yeah, Larios goes to a good
shot
start
by McCullough. And again.
But as I said, Jim, Larios gets off to a good start, then McCullough comes right back into it again, so it's very hard to know what to do, or how to score it.
And look at McCullough, he's not giving up. Just when we thought Larios might have nicked the round, McCullough comes back and he's really piling on the pressure, and the champion looked a little bit vulnerable there, and McCullough is just going for him.
Unbelievable stuff now.
What a round by McCullough. What a finish. Don't think there was much in it. But McCullough has shown that he can keep this up forever and a day. He could be here till Easter.
Okay.
Bien. So 4 more rounds. And can Wayne McCullough, not for the first time in a distinguished career, pull off a major upset? He won his first world title the best part of 10 years ago when he went to Japan and won the bantamweight title against Yusui Yakishiji. Got a split decision, although one of the referees, I think it was Barbara Perez, I think, has taken quite a fancy to Wayne McCullough, gave it to him by 8 rounds. Is McCullough tiring?
He looks like, yes, for the first sort of half minute to a minute of each round. You know, Larios seems to have the upper hand, you know, at the opening of each round. Then McCullough comes right back into it, so it's just a wee bit early in this round just to say how tired he might be.
Yeah, Larios has caught him with 2 or 3 very good shots. Look at this. Larios is really catching him now. This is not a good start to this round for Wayne McCullough. He needs to keep those hands up. And he's walking onto shots that he wasn't earlier on. Needs to get a little bit more lateral movement with that head of his.
What Larios is doing now, Jim, you can see that he's bringing the shots up, the uppercuts up more than straight punches, because he's having more success that way, because he's finding Wayne's chin very difficult to hit.
Well, he's catching him on the temple quite a bit, and this is a better run from Larios and the worst one so far from McCullough. We're midway through it. And have we reached the turning point? Back comes McCullough, as you'd expect. Little short, sharp shots, one of them left to the chin of the champion, but it's Larios' round so far. I just do have a feeling that Wayne McCullough's strength might just be ebbing. Don't use the forearm. There's a nasty round the corner right from the champion. Look at the way Larios is moving, Dave. It's a lot more confident now.
Yeah, well, he sees that he can see it a lot clearer than what we can, that McCullough's beginning to tire here. I just was waiting, you know, to that round. There was at least a minute away just to see how tired Wayne was, but he is beginning to flag a wee bit. He's still coming forward and throwing those arms out, but there's absolutely nothing at all in the power now of Wayne. It's just arm punches and that's it, and it's not doing anything now to deter Larios, because he is now coming forward and pushing Wayne back.
Yeah, Wayne's in a little bit of trouble in this round. This is not a good round for the challenger. Larios looking very confident. Little flurry from McCullough just to keep him honest. But it's Larios' round, trying to draw down McCullough's hand. And McCullough looks very tired. He's on the flats of his feet, and he looks pretty exhausted. Turns away, back to the corner, and Larios goes back to his corner with an air of confidence. Has he turned the McCullough tide back? He seems to think so. Well, no sign of wear and tear there. A little bit of bruising underneath his right eye for Wayne McCullough, but he looks fine. But how much has he left in the old tank? 3 rounds to go, and it's the champion who had a very good 9th round straight away, in with the opening punch. McCullough trying to get back to that rat of his. Larios looks the stronger of the two. Was Wayne McCullough taking a breather in that last round? Larios up on his toes again. Solid left going in. Sean O'Grady reckons there's 3 rounds between them, so if McCullough can actually keep that going, he might just win this one. But it's the 3 judges at ringside who will do all the deciding.
Well, Larios has to, Jim, keep going what he's doing now, because if he wants to win this fight, he has to pile the pressure on. You can see Wayne's beginning to tire a bit now, so therefore, looking at the 2 fighters now, you can see plainly that Larios is the stronger. But McCullough's still throwing the punches out, but there's absolutely nothing in the punches now at all, and he can't stop this guy from coming forward. The tables have turned here now, full circle. Wayne's now on the retreat most of the time, and Larios is now coming forward. But Larios needs to come forward because he's the guy in my card that's trailing.
Larios just levering McCullough off with the forearm. Back comes the pocket rocket. Good footwork by McCullough. Midway through this, the 10th, and then there's just 6 more minutes. One more good round for McCullough. Might just swing it his way. But he's getting caught now. His head's down. Unbelievable courage from McCullough.
Yeah, I just wish he would keep the hands up. See when they has the head down, they got to keep the hands up because Larios is hitting him 3 or 4 good shots here right on the target, and it's not doing McCullough any good doing this. He just, if he can, I know it's not easy, he's tired, but just keep those hands up a slight bit higher. Protect the face. Take them on the gloves or on the arms.
Well, Wayne McCullough now looking as if he's just running an automatic. Larios is not giving him any room at all, and again Larios coming through with the forearm. Referee letting him away with that.
Come on, Wayne, keep the hands up, stay out of trouble. Hang on in there.
The little riposte from McCullough not coming through. Now Larios catches him again. McCullough battling away as ever, saying come on, come on.
The referee takes, he's taking a good look at Wayne. When Wayne lets Larios land 3 or 4 good shots without moving, the referee steps in and has a real good look at him.
Well, there's so little between the two of them, it would be absolutely wrong unless McCullough is seriously in trouble for the referee to stop it, and he's in trouble at the end of that round. McCullough, really for the very first time in this contest, the years started to suddenly catch up with him. Well, he looks exhausted, Wayne McCullough.
How's he doing, Brad? How you feel, Wayne? Good. You all right?
Well, Cheryl must be pretty worried.
Talk to the doctor.
Wayne McCullough says I'm fine. He must be the bravest fella ever to get into a ring. Larios caught him with some very, very solid shots that would have stopped many, many another super bantamweight or even featherweight. So this is going to be a very interesting round indeed. Wayne McCullough under a lot of pressure at the end of the 10th. Here we are into the 11th, the penultimate round, and is Oscar Larios going to make another successful defence of his WBC super bantamweight title. He let Wayne McCullough run away with it and then has boxed himself back into it. His extra strength and the solid punching, just a little bit too much for the sheer heart and grit and determination of the challenger McCullough. And McCullough getting himself into a little bit of trouble once again. The referee's having a good look at Wayne McCullough. You do get the feeling that a couple of shots to the chin of McCullough might prompt the referee to step in, which would be very sad for Wayne McCullough, who's never been down and never been stopped as an amateur or a professional.
Oh, that's a nice turn, but what McCullough wants to do is, Jim, stay in close so as Larios can't get leverage in the punches. You know, if he stays back, Larios can throw his big right hands in, those big sweeping left hooks. Stay close and he's fine. But stay away and he's in trouble.
He's not doing enough now. That was a nasty little shot high up in the temple of Wayne McCullough. Larios too showing signs of tiring. He put so much into the last 2 rounds.
Like, hang on, spoil the fight, hang on, do whatever you have to do, because in my opinion Larios has to win from the 9th round to the 12th round convincingly to win the fight. If he doesn't do that, I have McCullough in front.
Well, don't forget, this is California. It's not the Ulster Hall or the King's Hall. Even Larios now showing signs of tiring, but Wayne McCullough looks just about exhausted. There's still a wee bounce there, and he goes back to his work with that wonderful rhythm that he's always had. Larios is catching him. There's nothing coming back from Wayne McCullough now. A minute to go to the end of the 11th. Good solid right hand from McCullough, but that's been a rarity in the last 3 or 4 rounds.
You have to take your hat off to Wayne, Jim, there's no doubt about it. He's as tough as they come, and he's still fighting away. You know, he's jabbing at left-handed. That's what his corner want him to do, because he can stay out of trouble, but when he's in close, hang on. You give this guy nothing to hit at all.
Good solid right by Larios, and McCullough got himself into bother at the end of the last round, and here he is at the end of the 11th, and he's trying his best to come off those ropes. But this is going to be Larios' contest. Certainly Larios' round and one more. And if Larios keeps this up, he's just going to take this one. That early advantage built up by McCullough has gradually been eroded. There's the 10-second clapper to herald the end of the penultimate round. And McCullough really the last couple of rounds has offered very little except wonderful stubborn resistance and oodles of heart. Larios looks pretty tired, but he might just have got himself in front, and I suspect that's how the judges are going to say it, unless there's a major upset about to unfold in front of us. Final words from Freddie Roach to Wayne McCullough. What a terrific contest this has been, but then Wayne McCullough is never in anything other than a terrific contest, and he's given Oscar Larios plenty of what Larios didn't want and a bit more, and you can be sure that McCullough will give it 105% in this last 3 minutes. Larios might just have boxed his way back into the lead to make another successful defence, but he's had to work for it, and there were times when he did look vulnerable. Good right hand by McCullough. Back comes Larios. This has been a terrific performance by Wayne McCullough. 35 on his next birthday. Comparatively inactive over the past half dozen years for all sorts of reasons. Certainly hasn't let himself down at all, and who knows what way the judges will see this. That wasn't a bad left from McCullough, Dave.
Yep, good stuff. If we can have a real good last round here from Wayne, like there's a real good chance that he can win this. It's very, very, very close now, Jim. Very close. If Wayne wins this last round, the title's his. Can't be a draw this last round. He has to win it.
Well, he's got to come forward. He's got to start landing the way he did in the middle stages of this contest when he built up a reasonably good lead. We felt anyway. Well, where does McCullough get this stamina from? He hasn't stopped all the way through. Better by McCullough.
Good stuff, yes. Come on, that's it. We need loads more of that this round, Win. Loads more.
Just about a minute remaining. Larios really has been made to battle all the way. That was a good left hand by McCullough. What a pity there wasn't a little bit more dynamite in those punches of the Belfast man. Oh, little underhand right by Larios. Sweet little uppercut caught McCullough. Less than a minute now. McCullough is going to punch himself to a standstill. Clash of heads once again. Referee's having a good look. It's McCullough. I really don't know how he does this. He's just coming forward. He's battling. He's giving it everything he possibly can. Will it be enough? Has McCullough done enough in this last round to nick it and take the title? I'm not so sure. But what I am sure about is that McCullough has given a bravura performance against the man who is reckoned to be the best in this super bantamweight division by a fair old distance. Solid shots going in from Larios. Last few seconds. McCullough coming forward as he has done right from the start. 10 seconds to go. McCullough gets him with a good left, and Larios with a right. Wonderful left from McCullough right at the end. Is it going to be enough? Look at that. McCullough tags him. McCullough puts the hands up. Larios reckons he's held on. If he has, it's not going to be by very much. And McCullough comes over and says, thank you very much indeed. And Larios grins and smiles and says, if you're the number 9 in this division, I don't want to meet the number 1 or 2 for a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Kazuo Abe, scores about 116 to 111. Judge Marcos Rosales scores about 118 to 110. And Marty Salmon sees about 118 to 109. All three in favor of the winner. And still champion, Oscar Chololo Larios.
Well, very big gaps indeed. 5 points, 8 points, and 9 points. So Larios must have really come through from the midway point. We had it an awful lot closer here.
You showed it to a Warrior. What did you think of this match?
I thought I was trying to push him back with a jab in the early rounds, and it was working early on, but I just couldn't keep the rhythm going.
Yeah,
He's a strong guy. I
You
took his power okay. His power was
Right.
decent enough.
But it looked as though you continued to try to change your style. You tried to mix it up a bit. Was there a reason for that?
Well, I tried to work the body. I tried to keep going to the body, work look just like that, work the body, and I did for the body work.
Speaking of the body, you were fantastic on the body, but so was he. This is what championship boxing is all about.
Yeah, we came to fight. You know, I thank God I'm here fighting for a championship, and I give it all I had.
You gave a lot of heart. You showed us really what Wayne McCullough's all about. What do you do now?
We'll sit down with Freddie, my trainer, and see what we're going to do.
But once again, Wayne McCullough has shown that he has got terrific heart and terrific stamina, but perhaps the end of the road is not too far away.
So Wayne McCullough loses on points. Intact, though, is his proud record of never having been stopped. But his dream to become a two-time world champion is over. From all of us here, it's bye-bye.